We are starting a new mini-series on this podcast, and we're going to break down the Mount Rushmore of every era in the WWE history. And I'm reaching out to all the content creators that do this journey with us. So stick around. This is Triple Threat Wrestling. Welcome back to Triple Threat Wrestling. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. We drop daily wrestling content. To my, would this be right or left, Matt? I don't know, but MVP's right here. And down below, we got Mike from Wrestling from the 313. Super excited to have you on the show. How you doing, brother?
What up, though? It's good to be here. You know, we didn't talk in the past trying to link up and stuff, so it's good to finally link up and talk some wrestling.
Yeah, awesome, man. And I'm going to drop it in the description box below. Wrestling from the 313 on YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. I'm going to link all those in the description box. So please go follow, subscribe, show support. He makes awesome content, and he's growing rapidly. So be one of the early birds and get in on that. So we're going to jump right into it. We are going to do our Mount Rushmore of the Golden Era of WWE history. And this will be a really good topic because this builds the foundation for what wrestling became. So it may vary. There's a few people that may come in and out, but I think we're all going to agree for the most part on who should be in here. So MVP, why don't you go first?
All right. I'll start us off with none other than Hulk Hogan.
You got Hulk Hogan on your Mount Rushmore. All right.
Yeah. I mean, the foundation of wrestling was built on the shoulders of Hulk Hogan. So, and especially in the Golden Era where he was the man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Started off in the AWA, and then McMahon's like, I want that guy. So he pretty much robbed Vern Gagne and said, hey, we're just gonna strap this rocket ship on you. We're gonna ride the wave, and he's the third longest title reign
in
WWE history, and most of that was the Golden Era. So I just start off with him.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that pick. So we're gonna go over to Mike now. Who's your number one on your Mount Rushmore?
I'm gonna have to go with MVP, Hulk Hogan. You know, despite everything that, you know, he's been doing now, the controversy and everything, what he started with wrestling, like, wrestling wouldn't be what it is now if it wasn't for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, and me growing up in that era, I remember how big Hulk Hogan was with the action figures, the cartoons, the workout sets, the ice cream bars. Like, he made wrestling, he was the first superstar, you know, to take it mainstream. So he's definitely got to be number one on the Mount Rushmore.
All right. You know what? In honor of you being on the show, I'm gonna play on the words a little bit. Instead of a 3 for 3, we'll go 3-1-3. I'm gonna go with Hulk Hogan too. We'll do a little play on it. But I mean, Hulk Hogan, mainstream media, right, alone, that brought you so much attention to the product.
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, we're talking, and like it or not, whether you like the shows or movies, but you know, Mr. Nanny, No Holds Barred, like Thunder in Paradise, that's kind of our childhood because that stuff was on TV all the time. And, you know, just the mainstream media alone brought so much attention to them. And then, yeah, I mean, everyone can say how boring the moveset was and all that, but people came to see spectacles like him versus Andre, him versus Macho Man. Like, you look nowhere else than Hulk Hogan. Like, Hulkamania, like, however we feel about it now, Hulkamania ran wild back then. And there was no doubting it. Like, you can maybe say you didn't like Hulk Hogan, but you liked Hulk Hogan back then. Like, every once in a while, you did the whole ear cup in the mirror, you know, like growing up. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Hogan too. So, MVP, we got to go to you for number 2.
All right. And you mentioned him. Every good guy, every superhero needs an adversary, someone to go against, right? In this Golden Era, for Hogan, his arch nemesis was Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
My next pick's Andre the Giant, and he played the perfect foil. I mean, WrestleMania 3 where um, he Hogan slammed Andre.
Yep.
Yeah, uh, that I want to say that match just like summarized like their feud going into like through the Golden Era, and just like when he dropped the leg, it kind of ended it. But yeah, that my next pick's Andre the Giant.
You can't go wrong with that. The seventh wonder of the world, eighth wonder of the world, right? Eighth wonder of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's late. I brought everyone on here late. It's a wonder of the world. You know that. So, Mike from the 313, who do you got for number 2?
I'm gonna have to go MVP again. You gotta have Andre the Giant on there. Not only was he like the villain for Hulk Hogan, I would say one of them. He definitely passed the torch to Hulk Hogan too, you know. And what the match that they had at WrestleMania 3, which was in Pontiac, Michigan at the Silverdome.
Represent.
Yeah, that was like one of the greatest matches. That was like one of the greatest WrestleManias. And you know, even though Andre wasn't in the best health, if you go back and read or watch some of the documentaries on that match, he still made sure to put Hogan over. And you know, that's one thing that you can respect, because from a lot of these wrestlers, you know, depending on their ego, they don't want to put nobody over. But Andre knew that it was time to pass the torch to Hogan, and he did that. So I would definitely have him number 2 on my list.
You know what? I like it. And I think this is going to be the first time in the episode that we go different paths, because as much as I want Andre on there, we cannot overlook Mr. Bruno Sammartino for my number 2. Bruno Sammartino, one of the longest title reigns ever as well in that era. And he was also just that big burly guy, right? And he put on great main events. He carried the WWF before Hogan got there. I mean, you know, he was that guy for them. And he had a lot of accomplishments. And that was back when wrestling was like, felt like boxing, where like people showed up for like the event. It was the hot ticket in town when, you know, they came to town, and Bruno Sammartino was the name there. So, you know, and right now I can't think of how long that title reign was. MVP, can you give me the number off the top of your head? It was
off the top of my head. Yeah, it was like 4,000.
Yeah. So it's almost mid-10, almost 10, you know, halfway to 10,000. So, I mean, it's one of the longest reigns in history. That alone has to put him up there. So I'm going to go Mr. Bruno Sammartino at number 2. MVP, we're coming to you for number 3.
Okay. So I don't blame you for having Bruno. Just for before I continue, just before I had a hard time putting Bruno because kind of felt like he was before the Golden Era.
I did think about that.
Most of the stuff happened before that would be my only gripe with that, but he was still very relevant going into the Golden Era. Just I don't think much of his impact was, you know, Golden Era ish. Well, that being said, my number 3, so it would be another, I guess, friend and foe of Hogan. We're going to Macho Man, Randy Savage.
Oh yeah,
oh yeah, brother. So I guess they came up around the same time together. Macho Man just a little bit smaller stature, body, but you know, just as much charisma, if not more, than Hogan. You know, they teamed together. They've fought side by side. They were enemies, especially when the implosion of the Mega Powers. And then just that rivalry even went past the Golden Era into like when they went to WCW. that rivalry continued on, and it's hard not to have Randy Savage on the Mount Rushmore for Golden Era.
Very fair. That's fair to say. Mike, we're coming to you. Number 3.
Hey, me and MVP must have the same we must be on the same length because I got Macho Man on my list too. Always looked at Macho Man as the star in waiting, because we knew Hulk Hogan was the star. Andre was the guy, even though he was like kind of on his way out. But Macho Man was like the star in waiting. He was the Intercontinental Champion, the Workhorse Championship at that time, and when he was the champion, he carried it with prestige, and he was one of the best guys to hold that championship belt. And and he was one of the top villains at that time too. You know what I'm saying? So, and like MVP said, the rivalry he had with Hogan, that went on into WCW, even when with the NWO story and stuff like that. And Macho Man was definitely, I kind of compared him to like Michael Jackson and Prince. You know what I'm saying? Hogan was the Michael Jackson. Macho Man was the Prince. He was always behind the star. So yeah, I got Randy Savage, the third guy on my list.
Yeah, I said that we wouldn't differ much on this list probably, and I think another 3-1-3 for us here, 3 for 3. I'm going Macho Man as well. I mean, first of all, just to have the name Macho Man back in the 80s, you were the guy. I mean, that was it. You were the guy. But I mean, he put on classic matches with Ricky Steamboat, Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan. Like, he's one of the more reliable workhorses. He's like the CM Punk now. Then, like, when CM Punk's putting in all that work and getting through the matches and doing like good stuff. That was Macho Man. Then he perfected that, and he was like that go-to guy. Like, we need a really good match. Call Macho Man. Like, we need him. Hogan is the star spectacle. Like, we want to see him body slam Andre the Giant. But if you want a workhorse match, you're calling Macho Man Randy Savage all through the Golden Era. So, and I mean, come on, he promoted Slim Jims later on in his career. You can't not have a guy on a Mount Rushmore.
He still does.
And still doing it, too.
Postpartum. No, that's pregnancy stuff. What is it? What's the name, Matt? I'll cut that part out. What is it? Post-mortem? Mortem? What is it?
I think that's what it is. Post-mortem.
He died, and he's doing Slim Jim commercials. Yeah. So. But Macho Man is my number 3. So, MVP, you got to close out your Mount Rushmore now.
All right, so number 4. I had a difficult time with this one. I ultimately went with the Ultimate Warrior. Now,
okay, I would have. Okay.
So, it was hot. So you have the established guy Hogan, who throughout the Golden Era just been there, done that. He's conquered all challenges, and you have the upstart guy that you're trying to build up, Ultimate Warrior. So he's Intercontinental Champion, and then you have this guy you're building up so Hogan can pass the torch. And he does that. And, I mean, who blamed them? He had the look. He had charisma. Just didn't have it all up there. But in the Golden Era, he was pretty popular. Not as much as Hogan, but they were trying to build him up to that. Obviously, it didn't end up working out because he wanted money and then left and come back and left again and it's a mess. But just the impact and what they were trying to do to move on from Hogan, still be in the Golden Era, and give it to Ultimate Warrior.
So that is your number 4, Ultimate Warrior, yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
I had a hard time with that. could have picked Bret Hart. I thought maybe his impact was more after Golden Era. That's why I didn't go that direction. So
yeah, I thought that too, because even Shawn Michaels, you could kind of consider he was in the Golden Era, but his accolades and everything came after. So that's why I
exactly. So I went Ultimate Warrior.
I'll respect it. I respect your wrestling knowledge. It's just I didn't expect you to go that route. That's interesting for me. All right, Mr. Mike, all on you.
So for my last member of my Mount Rushmore, I think that this wrestler was just as important as Hulk Hogan. I think he was the top villain in that era, and he was almost as big as Hulk Hogan when it came to doing stuff outside of wrestling. So I'm gonna give it to my last pick is gonna be Roddy Piper.
All right.
And he also had a big impact on the whole rock and wrestling movement too. You know, when they were doing stuff with MTV, you know, he had the whole beef with Cyndi Lauper and Captain Lou. And of course, he was one of the first to have first wrestler to have a talk show with the Piper's Pit. So, Roddy Piper opened up some doors too. And then, of course, you know, he did movies. What was that? They Live or something like that. And he tried to do his thing outside of wrestling, just like Hogan did. And I felt like if you didn't hear about Hogan's name being in the movie, you heard Roddy Piper, or maybe even Jesse Ventura. But definitely Hogan and Piper were the names that you heard when it came to like movies and like just stuff outside of wrestling at that time.
Yeah, that's a solid pick. And with my fourth one, I'm with Mike. I had Roddy Piper picked all day. Because I mean, like, and he hit the nail right on the head here. Is Andre was like a nemesis to Hogan. Like, he was the one that passed the torch and all that. Piper for me was the true villain to like the hero of that era. Like, you know, and like he said, even with like the mainstream media, like, you know, one of the greatest lines in movie history is "I'm here to chew bubblegum and kick ass and I'm all out of gum." That's Roddy Piper. You know, and They Live. So and the scenes you saw, like hitting Jimmy Snuka with the coconut, the Piper's Pit, like involved in the first Mania in that tag team match with Mr. T, you know, like mainstream media, that was he's right. If it wasn't Hogan, it was Piper in that era.
And then you got to remember Piper's Pit is also where the Hogan and Andre rivalry started, leading into WrestleMania 3 also. So it was a lot of good stuff that happened in Piper's Pit. I remember the Jake the Snake and Honky Tonk Man rivalry when he knocked him upside with the guitar. I remember when Piper got attacked by Adrian Adonis in the Piper's Pit. So it was a lot of good memories in the Piper's Pit.
Oh yeah, 100%. And you know, he was another workhorse too. He put on some good matches. And this is towards like the end of the Golden Era, but like, you know, WrestleMania 7, I think, or it might have been WrestleMania 8, the Intercontinental Championship match with Bret Hart. Like, you know, great story. Like he knew how to play his role perfect. Roddy Piper did. So yeah, I got to go Roddy Piper, and that's going to round out the Mount Rushmore. So, does anyone have any honorable mentions?
You know what? I'm gonna say, it was right on the tip of my tongue. What about Ricky Steamboat? I think Steamboat is a guy that could be in there. I don't know, Vince McMahon. You know, for what he started and what wrestling is now. Unfortunately, you know, he's not running the company anymore. But if he didn't do what he did in the 80s, you know, wrestling wouldn't be what it is now. So you got to kind of throw him in there also.
Yeah, it's one of those that, like, we're wrestling creators, right? We talk about wrestling stuff. So as much crap as he's gotten himself into, like, it would be really unfair to not give Vince his credit wrestling wise, what he created and where it took places. But you know, I thought about putting on here, and this is kind of like like we talked about earlier with a wrestler, kind of his accolades happened before the golden era, but like I wanted to put Dusty Rhodes up there, but all the stuff he's really known for happened in like NWA, WCW, and
WCW.
he came in with polka dots in WWF.
Yeah.
You know, that's I can't really put him on a Mount Rushmore for that, but you know,
Yeah.
I gotta throw his name out there. So, MVP, you got any?
Yeah, just for storylines and stuff. You know, with the WWE Championship, throw in the Ted DiBiase.
You know, I thought about him too. I really did. I was like, you know, $1 million.
That stuff with Andre, how he hired Andre to beat Hogan for the title, and then was it the commissioner said, "Oh, you're stripped of the title. You can't buy the title."
Yeah. And I think he was the first wrestler to have his own custom belt too, even though it wasn't like he defended it once against Virgil, and then he gave it to Stone Cold or whatever. But yeah, he was like one of the first to have his own custom belt, and that belt was nice too.
Oh yeah, 100%. So yeah, that's going to break down the Mount Rushmore of the Golden Era. Again, this is part one of I want to say 6 parts. There's 6 eras so far, and we got wrestling from the 313. Mike himself is on here. Make sure, guys, go follow and subscribe him on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. Those links will be in the description box below. And go support your boy, support all of us. We're here to grow together to bring you guys great content and talk about wrestling. I mean, who doesn't want to talk about wrestling? It's just the greatest thing in the world. So, Mike, thanks for coming on. MVP, see you in part 2.